How's it going, everyone? It is Skullzi here with the latest and the greatest gaming news. I have a pretty interesting update for you all today regarding a secret Bethesda game that has yet to be officially announced. Some of you may have either forgotten about this or never actually knew that there are 2 secret Bethesda games on the drawing board or possibly even in full development right now. And a recent Trademark update indicates that we could potentially see an announcement for one of these 2 projects at some point very soon. And don't worry, because as always, we're going to be breaking the situation down together. That way you can see that my bullshit capacity meter is always running at 0%, and that way you can have the links and all that stuff to verify all of this information for yourself if you choose to. And we're going to start our adventure right here at our old friend, the current list of active and pending ZeniMax and thus Bethesda trademarks. And the trademark that we're going to be talking about today is for one that you might remember from a couple videos last year, and that is Giant Monster News. You can see by the classification filings for this trademark that Giant Monster News is indeed a video game of some kind, and along with Giant Monster News, there is yet another mystery game known as Spy Team. However, in today's video, we're going to be focusing on Giant Monster News specifically, as there is an update to the trademark that will essentially let us know if we will get an announcement for this game at some point soon, or if we will be entering that long phase waiting game stage phase. And real quick, I discovered trademarks for both Starfield and Deathloop a long time ago as well, long before they were ever revealed to be what we now know them to be. So with that in mind, it is very likely that Spy Team and Giant Monster News will eventually do the same thing and follow suit. I mean, I remember way back when people were speculating that Deathloop was going to be a racing game of some kind. Wow, were we off way back then. But with a name like Giant Monster News, speculation is a lot more difficult. Remember though, although what I'm about to break down is legit confirmable trademark information and procedure, anything discussed further than that should be considered 100% speculation, as no official statement from Bethesda Softworks or ZeniMax Giant Corporation Cyberpunk 2077 Corpo style time has been made regarding Giant Monster News. Now let's get to that trademark update. So first of all, you can see that the initial trademark application for Giant Monster News was filed way back on August 6th, 2019. After surviving a few bandit raids and dragon attacks, the Giant Monster News trademark continued on throughout the trademark process, and by checking the official trademark documents we can see that process, along with its latest update, which is what we'll be focusing on in today's video. Now, unless you are Hermes from Futurama, you probably would find most of the technical explanation behind all of this quite boring, so I'll try to TL doctor it for you as much as possible. By checking the trademark update timeline here, we can find the most recent relevant information regarding the status of Giant Monster News, and that is as of June 2nd, 2020, which is about a week ago from the time that I'm uploading this video. The United States Patent and Trademark Office issued a statement to Bethesda requiring them to provide a statement of use for Giant Monster News, and that means that Bethesda will need to prove that Giant Monster News is indeed a real product and will be ready to be placed on sale at some point soon. Like I covered in previous videos, the United States Patent and Trademark Office does this to prevent creating a market where companies simply buy and sell product names without any actual products being developed alongside the trademarks. This would make it a lot harder and more expensive for a company with an actual new product in mind to properly name their new thing whatever they want without having to pay a larger company for the rights to simply use that specific name. Now, this is where things get interesting. If Bethesda does indeed provide a statement of use soon, that update would be posted here in this trademark documentation, and that would immediately tell us that we would be getting a reveal for Giant Monster News at some point very soon as well. Trademarks are useful like this because they are one of the few ways to get a heads up on huge reveals like this before they are even ever officially discussed by Bethesda or any other relevant company, depending on the trademark in question. But if Bethesda doesn't provide a statement of use soon, then we would enter a gigantic void of a timeline where Bethesda gets 5 individual 6-month extensions that they can use, giving them more time to work on and finish developing Giant Monster News. If the trademark enters this cold and dark phase, then trying to pinpoint when the game would be announced and revealed becomes literally a waiting game, as at any point within 2.5 years, we could see a trademark update stating that Bethesda filed a statement of use, and that the Giant Monster News could happen at any time. Or on the opposite side of the fence, we could also see that Giant Monster News got abandoned, meaning that we'd most likely never find out what it was going to end up up being, which would drive my OCD insane. Or maybe Bethesda are just master level trolls, and Giant Monster News is a literal troll trademark filed just to throw off and poke fun at people who dig way too deeply into their trademarks like I do. That would be hilarious, but Bethesda would have to spend time and money on attorney and trademark fees just to pull off a joke like that most people wouldn't even get or notice, so I highly doubt that is the case. Whatever Giant Monster News ends up being, it'll certainly be a game of some kind. And remember, right alongside Giant Monster News, we have Spy Team as well. I accidentally spelled Spy Time on my little note cards here, that is hilarious. But Spy Team is also a game of some kind, and we could also get a surprise reveal for Spy Team at any time as well. Spy Team. Spy Team. As far as what I think Giant Monster News will actually be, I have no idea, dude. That is probably the most random game name that I have ever seen from Bethesda. It doesn't even seem like it would be a Bethesda Game Studios game, but who knows? I mean, maybe it is some sort of Starfield mobile companion app, or maybe it has something to do with either Ghostwire or Deathloop, or maybe it's a new Arcane game. They've been talking, Bethesda's been talking a lot about Arcane lately, or maybe it's some sort of new Doom Eternal online component, or maybe it's the name of the new vending machine in the Bethesda office lounge, or maybe it's a pretty cloud that Todd Howard saw yesterday morning. Who even knows? With a name like that, your guess is as good as mine, and I definitely want to know what you all think Giant Monster News might be, because as far as speculation goes, anything regarding that game is a shot in the dark for sure. So please leave those comments down below and hit that like button to show some love for Giant Monster whatever. And remember, anything other than the actual trademark documentation and procedure in this video should be considered 111% speculations. We will only know what Giant Monster News actually is when Bethesda or ZeniMax or Todd Howard Cyborg decides to finally drop that Giant Monster News on us, hopefully not crushing and killing us in the process. I don't know how heavy Giant Monster News is. The name implies it's probably pretty heavy. That finishes up today's video though. As always, what I want to know is, what do you think about all of this? Let me know what you think Giant Monster News will be down in the comments below, and if your comment wins the internet, you may get featured in the future video. You specifically. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed the content, and if you want to stay in the know when it comes to the latest gaming news, hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on so you don't miss the latest uploads. Follow me over on Twitter for other news that doesn't quite make it into my videos, as well as other channel updates, and check for links down in the description below for the official Skullzi merchandise site, the Skullzi Discord community chat server, and if you want to have your hand in providing future content, there are links on how to be an exclusive channel member here on YouTube or over on Patreon as well. And as always, thank you for watching. Be sure to tune in next time when Giant Monster News is a special announcement of a new Bethesda Game Studios office being built on the moon. Thanks, Elon.
It just works.